Hey guys, this video is going to be quite a bit different than what I normally post, but it's in response to a viewer request and enough people expressing interest in the topic that I decided I would cover it. I'm from Utah, so one of the first things that my online friends generally ask me is if I know any Mormons and if I am a Mormon, and I am. I see references to Mormonism in pop culture and the media all the time, but we're generally misrepresented and misunderstood. So, by making this video, I'm hoping to accomplish a couple of things. I'd like to clear up some confusion about who Mormons are and what we believe, and dispel some common misconceptions people have about the church. And I also hope that this video helps you feel informed about the church without feeling like I am trying to baptize you into my religion, because that is not my purpose in making this video. Before I get into any information about what my church believes, I'd like to make the distinction that this video is about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the LDS religion. I had several people ask me about the correct term to refer to our church, whether it was LDS or Mormons. Within the church, we generally refer to ourselves as the Latter-day Saints, or LDS, and that's because several different groups of people actually fall under the term Mormon. The reason for that is that our church has actually had a couple of religions branch off of it over the years. Sort of like how Protestant faiths originally branched off of the Catholic Church. One of those groups of people is called the FLDS Church, or the Fundamentalist LDS, and they are the group which still practices polygamy. And then the other group is called the RLDS, or Reorganized LDS, and I think that they've changed their name to the Community of Christ. So while calling me a Mormon is in no way inaccurate or offensive, it's simply not specific. It's sort of like calling a square a rectangle. And with that distinction in mind, I am now going to dispel some myths about the LDS Church. We do not practice polygamy, although we did in the early days of the church, from the early to mid-1800s. We are not similar to Quakers or the Amish, but there are a couple of communities of Mennonites in Utah who are similar to the Amish. We do not all have to go on missions, although if we choose to go, young men go when they are 19 and young women go when they're 21. Young men are generally expected to go on missions, and young women are not really pressured to go on missions, but they're definitely supported if they make that decision. And missionaries don't get to choose where they go. They actually turn in a bunch of paperwork, and then they receive some paperwork back in the mail from leadership of the church, and it tells them where they are going. And missions are generally 2 years. Oftentimes they're in other countries where the missionary has to learn a new language. My dad and my brother have actually both served LDS missions. We do not worship Joseph Smith, but we definitely do respect him as our first prophet. We do not worship any person named Mormon, despite the nickname of our church. And we got that nickname, of course, because we believe in the Book of Mormon as a scriptural record translated by Joseph Smith and not as a Broadway musical. We do not believe that members of other religions are going to hell. We do believe in the Bible, and we do believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God and as the Savior of mankind. So now that we've got the misconceptions out of the way, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the Book of Mormon. We believe that during the times of the Old Testament, there was a group of people who journeyed from Jerusalem to the Americas. And the Book of Mormon is just a scriptural account of their time in the Americas and all of their generations. So it's similar to how the Bible starts with Genesis and it goes through all these different generations. The Book of Mormon just starts with Lehi and his family and a couple of other people who journeyed with them. And then, like how there is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, etc., the Book of Mormon is also separated into different books, and it details the lives of these people in ancient America and their descendants. And towards about the middle of the Book of Mormon, there's actually an account of Jesus Christ coming to the Americas after his resurrection to teach the people here. So these are my scriptures, as you can see. It's a pretty hefty book, and it has my name on it. So what we've got here is Old Testament, then the New Testament, then a Bible dictionary and some maps, and then the Book of Mormon, and then Doctrine and Covenants, and I'm going to talk briefly about that now. It seems like a pretty common thing that people know about the LDS Church is that Mormons have a lot of stuff that they can't do. Because we believe in the Bible, we also believe in the 10 Commandments, and then generally the other commandments we follow are found in the last part of our huge scriptures. We don't smoke or do any drugs. We don't drink alcohol, tea, or coffee, although we can drink tea if it's herbal and has no caffeine. It can't be decaffeinated, it has to have no caffeine whatsoever. The church doesn't have a definite stance on whether or not we can drink caffeinated soda, so some people do not drink caffeinated soda as well. I am not one of them. I do indulge in a caffeinated soda every now and then. We also have a practice of paying tithing, which for our church means giving up 10% of your income. So say I get a paycheck for $250. I would take out $25 of that and give it to the church. And all of that tithing money from members all over the world is compiled and used to fund various projects of the church, such as building and maintaining churches and temples. And we do follow certain standards regarding dress and appearance. These include steering away from revealing clothing, tattoos, and multiple piercings. We also do not believe in sex before marriage, and active LDS members aim to get married in LDS temples. In order to get married in the temple or even go into the temple, you do have to be living worthily according to the standards of the church and actively attending church. So that's the LDS church in a nutshell. There was way too much to cover in one video, but hopefully that gives you a general idea. If you found this interesting and you have more questions for me, feel free to leave your questions in the comments. And if there are enough questions, I might make another video here or on my second channel. Also in the comments, let me know if you learned something new about the LDS Church that you didn't know before. And I will talk to you guys soon.